You know, ladies and gentlemen, the civil rights movement has been hijacked by the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party is responsible for much of the racism and segregation and so forth that has taken place in this nation. That's right. Those officials in Selma, Alabama, they were Democrats. But more than Democrat, Republican, the civil rights movement was not about massive government, massive debt. The civil rights movement wasn't about redistribution of wealth and embracing Marxism. The civil rights movement wasn't about an environmental protection agency that destroys industries and small businesses and farmers and ranchers. The civil rights movement wasn't about promoting voter fraud or promoting illegal immigration or nationalizing health care. The civil rights movement was not about the modern Democrat Party's agenda or Obama's agenda. It's about liberty, individual sovereignty, equal justice under the law, opportunity. That's what it was about. And the Democrat Party has hijacked the civil rights movement, as they hijacked so many other things, and have rewritten its history. When those people crossing that bridge were beaten the way they were beaten, that wasn't because of liberalism. That was nothing about liberalism. I am so tired of the political demagogues and the hacks and the provocateurs taking these historical events, where the vast majority of them, the overwhelming majority of them, never participated, many of them weren't even alive, claiming them as their own and using them to project their form of politics and governance. How is massively raising taxes, raising the debt, massively importing illegal aliens, that is, foreigners from other countries, promoting voter fraud, not voting, how does that have anything to do with the civil rights movement of 50 years ago? And I also want to remind you, the civil rights movement was not a federal government movement. It was a people's movement. Even more, it was a movement that came out of the churches. It was a movement that came out of the churches. And it's not right for everybody to pour their own issues, their own agenda into this movement, whether it's same-sex marriage or illegal immigration or what have you. That had nothing to do with the civil rights movement. Also happens to have nothing to do with the 14th Amendment. As I said, the civil rights movement is not about the left's agenda. It's about humanity. Don't tell me this nation didn't try and correct a wrong. Don't tell me we haven't made any progress. The people who say that, many of them, not all of them, have done precious little to expand liberty and opportunity in this country. What took place in Selma, Alabama, it wasn't about big centralized government, choosing winners and losers, punishing people based on their race, redistributing wealth, creating government programs, entitlements, welfare, redistribution, the EPA, and all the rest of it. It wasn't about that or anything like that. It's about freedom. I refuse to accept, I utterly reject the left's attempt to claim the civil rights movement for itself. And I reject the phony, self-appointed civil rights leaders of today, who are nothing more than handmaidens of big government and the Democrat Party, which started this damn thing in the first place.